You wake up at 8 a.m., but the sky is jet black. You check your phone, no signal. The power grid collapsed 3 hours ago. Outside, the temperature drops by 2 degrees every hour. Photosynthesis stops globally in 48 hours. Plants wither, crops fail. Within a month, oceans freeze from the surface down. Modern civilization would break down in less than 90 days without crops and electricity. Yet 74,000 years ago, humanity faced a real rehearsal of this exact scenario. The supervolcano Toba exploded in Sumatra, Indonesia. It ejected 2,800 cubic kilometers of volcanic ash into the stratosphere. The ash blanket blocked 90% of incoming sunlight for years. Global temperatures plummeted by 5 to 15 degrees Celsius. Global vegetation withered, creating a volcanic winter that lasted nearly a decade. According to genetic studies, human populations crashed down to fewer than 10,000 breeding individuals. Geneticist Marcus Feldman calculated that our species nearly hit total extinction. So how did those few thousand people survive without sunlight, heat, or crops? The first hurdle was the sudden loss of radiant heat. Earth radiates heat into space constantly. Without solar radiation, surface temperatures drop below freezing fast. Early humans couldn't turn on electric heaters. They relied on underground thermal traps. In South Africa's Blombos Cave, archaeologists found evidence of continuous human occupation through volcanic bottlenecks. Deep cave systems maintain a stable temperature year-round, typically around 12 to 15 degrees Celsius. Geothermal activity provided another refuge. Near volcanic zones like the East African Rift, hot springs brought groundwater heated by magma to the surface. Humans clustered around these thermal pockets, using geothermally heated rocks to warm bedding areas. The second challenge was food. Photosynthesis stopped, killing off leafy plants within weeks. Large herbivores like wild cattle and horses starved quickly as grasslands vanished. Humans shifted their diet completely to underground food stores. Tubers, bulbs, and deep roots contain stored starches unaffected by short-term lack of sunlight. Anthropologist Peter Ungar analyzed fossilized human teeth from this era. Microwear patterns showed a sudden spike in heavy wear from chewing gritty, fibrous roots and hard nuts. Coastal populations had a massive advantage during the dark years. Marine ecosystems rely on thermal inertia, meaning oceans cool down much slower than land masses. At Pinnacle Point on the southern coast of South Africa, humans harvested shellfish like mussels and sea snails. Shellfish provided a steady supply of omega-3 fatty acids and protein despite the ash-covered sky. Excavations led by Curtis Marion revealed dense shell middens dating right to the Toba eruption period. The darkness altered animal hunting strategies as well. Human eyes lack a tapetum lucidum, the reflective layer that gives predators night vision. Big cats like leopards had a huge advantage in total darkness. To counter nocturnal predators, humans transformed fire from a simple tool into an active defensive perimeter. Archaeologists found hearths arranged in tight geometric rings inside caves. These fire rings created continuous light fields, preventing predators from stepping inside. Fire also solved a critical vitamin deficiency problem. Without sunlight, the human body stops producing vitamin D, leading to bone degradation and weakened immune systems. Early humans compensated by consuming animal livers, cold water fish, and brain tissue rich in vitamin D. Bone marrow extraction reached its historical peak during these cold periods. Marrow is rich in lipids and dense calories, staying preserved inside thick leg bones even when carcasses froze. Clothing technology underwent a major leap during the volcanic winter. Before this era, humans wore simple draped hides. The sudden deep freeze forced the invention of specialized bone needles. In Denisova Cave, Russia, researchers found bone needles with drilled eyes dating back tens of thousands of years. Tailored clothing trapped a layer of dead air near the skin, lowering heat loss by up to 80%. Groups without needle technology could not survive outside thermal caves and vanished. The mental toll of constant darkness was another threat. Prolonged absence of sunlight disrupts circadian rhythms, triggering severe depression and fatigue. Human groups relied on structured social rituals around hearths to maintain sleep schedules and group morale. Symbolic artifacts exploded in production during the Toba winter. Red ochre pigments were used to paint body markers, identifying tribe members in low-visibility conditions. Trade networks expanded as well. Single bands could not survive in isolation when local resources dried up. Obsidian tools have been traced over 200 kilometers from their geological source during this period. Long-distance exchange networks allowed groups to swap food, stone materials, and survival information. Slowly, over thousands of years, the volcanic ash settled out of the atmosphere. Sunlight returned to the surface and vegetation began to recover. The humans who emerged from the volcanic winter were structurally different from those who entered it. They possessed tailored clothing, complex trade networks, advanced fire management, and specialized storage techniques. The dark years did not destroy humanity. They forced us to innovate every aspect of physical survival. Evolution filtered out passive strategies and rewarded proactive adaptation. If the sun disappeared today for a year, our survival would not depend on our electronic infrastructure. It would depend on the same strategies forged 74,000 years ago in the volcanic dark.